Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jason Thomas here from Executive Leadership International and the LMS Doctor International, here on this cloudy Wednesday, but to talk about one of my favorite subjects, leadership, and more importantly, the definitions of leadership. On my walk this morning, I spent a good deal of time thinking about how many definitions, books, novels, workshops, conventions have been done on leadership. I would argue that you probably could go back to some of the earliest cave paintings, and there is a recording of leadership trying to be captured in that moment. It also is apropos that I happen to be continuing listening to Dr. Obam's This Is Why Christians Are Broke, and it happened to be I was in chapter 4 of his book, which is his take on leadership. And it also helped me see the vast area to which leadership can be discussed and is discussed and can encompass. So when I take my take on defining leadership and what a leader is, I wanted to be a little distinct, wanted it to be practical and measurable, because at least quantifiable, because I think it is. And I recognize that leadership is an action. It's not a condition, it's not a position, it's not a role, it's an action. The ethical, endless empowerment of others to acknowledge the increased potential within themselves. I'll read it again. The ethical, endless empowerment of others to acknowledge the increased potential within themselves. You'll notice in that definition, it doesn't talk about the leader at all. The leader is not the individual gaining anything from leadership. If you're attempting to execute leadership for personal gain, then you're not practicing empowered leadership. It starts with the ethical. Spoiler for my book, the number one base principle, foundation for effective leadership and management is integrity. And we will dive into that at great lengths. Endless is to recognize that this action is ongoing. It is an action that does not complete itself. It is iterative, it is repeated, and its entire purpose is for the empowerment of others. Now, I could have left the definition right there. Right? That's an action that I'm doing, empowering others. Effective leadership has to do something. It's not doing anything for me. Acknowledging one's own potential is a difficult and amazing experience. And what makes a good leader oftentimes is our ability to see the potential in others that they have yet to recognize within themselves. And through effective leadership and that empowerment, such that they recognize that their potential is more than they ever thought possible, releases an endless source of power into the world. And that's why it's critical that leadership, the iteration, doesn't even get to restart until they've taken on, acknowledged in themselves their own capabilities. So what is a leader then? A leader, I define as an individual through acts of leadership, manifests inspiration in those empowered to apply their true potential through their own acts of leadership. I'll read it again. An individual, through acts of leadership, manifests inspiration in those empowered to apply their true potential through their own acts of leadership. What this means is that you're not a leader until you've effectively led. And that's why it's an ongoing cycle. That's why there's growth for everyone. But once again, this talks nothing of position, title, power, rank structure. By applying the ethical, endless empowerment of others, or what I define as leadership, you obtain a state of being a leader when your leadership inspires action in those you've empowered. And those you empower will in turn apply their potential in their own acts of leadership. Leaders breed leaders. That's what we do. In the civilian sector, it was disheartening that I saw in many places that there was fear in building the junior members of the team, such that they're going to take my job. They're going to take my leadership role. We know that's not the case. We know that no title or position is a prerequisite for leadership. Or at least you will after you read my book. Acts of leadership is standard course in the service. That's the greatest thing I got to do, was build sailors, help build, be part of that amazing experience, who have gone, rightfully so, well and above my capabilities in the service. And that's what we want. Our job as leaders in the service is to build our replacement, so then we can go replace someone else as they've been building us. So I ask you today to spend some time thinking about your leadership style. are you truly empowering? Is it making the impact that you need it to make in the individuals you're attempting to empower? And if not, that just means you're not done yet. You might need to reach out for help. Don't have it up here, but we'll have some other requirements. Humility is a key part of leadership. You have to be able to ask for help. So I challenge you to take a look at yourself and your leadership state. Would love to start getting some feedback as I enter into the social world here. I'm going to post up here some of the access areas where you can find this content elsewhere. But really, I'll end with this because I found this surprising. Most people talk about social media as just being a cesspool. I've seen it for others, for certain. And as I've not been particularly active in social media outside of the professional networks until recently, I've been amazed at the fact that by engaging with good people, I am flooded with the positive. So either the algorithm hasn't got wise yet, or maybe if we're seeing problems out in social media, we should also look into ourselves, into what we're spending our time on. Just an interesting fact. So happy hump day. I hope you have more sunshine than I do here. And I look forward to speaking to you again this week.